Hello, yes, I'm a little bit late. Sorry, I've been catching up on stuff in the garden. Oh, my door has opened unexpectedly. One moment. I'll be back. You can hear me. That wasn't meant to happen. I have a random issue that my door keeps opening itself. Hello! We'll start this one again. Hello, it is Sunday night. Yes, I'm a little bit late. Hello, yes, I'm back. It's a little bit late. Tonight, yes, we are going to be talking about the fact that BLheli32 is back. And this is a bit of an exclusive one for you. However, how back it really is remains to be seen. And we still don't fully understand the situation. And I'm going to explain to you as much as I can about what I know, because there are some things I can't say at this moment in time, but I will be able to say more about in the near future. But this subject in itself is so complex that I wanted to share it on a stream, and we will talk about this in an upcoming video as well. But yes, there are products coming with what appear to be fully licensed versions of BLheli32. Everything is pretty much still shite. I wish I had better news for our American friends. I don't. Very little has changed. There was actually a delivery of O4 air units this week, and then they went out of stock almost instantly. And as there is so little to talk about, I thought today I would finally get round to trying to do the upgrades on the tracks. It's not tracks, actually. It's the Outback tracker. Because I've got a load of upgrades which I need to do on this, which I haven't done yet. Now, obviously, the first big subject that I've put in the title, the controversial one, is obviously BLheli32 and the fact that I have seen evidence that it is back. And when I say back, I mean we have ESCs coming with what appears to be fully fledged legitimate versions of BLheli32, or at least versions of BLheli32, which is 32.10, that have new targets, and they are not using any of the test activators. They're not using any of the dodgy ways of using it. This appears to be, as it was before, fully fledged, fully legitimate BLheli32. Now, this is in some ways a good thing and in some ways a bad thing, because AM32 has been doing some amazing work and continuing to push forward. However, it hasn't seen the adoption it should have had by ESC manufacturers. Having spoke to a number of ESC manufacturers, the wording that was put to me is the sheer amount of interest in BLheli32 versus AM32, the difference is like 5 to 1, even from a sales perspective, from multiple people that I've spoke to who made both. And that isn't because AM32 is bad. I think it is literally about how much of a known quantity and market share BLheli32 had. And as a result of that, just the sheer search difference, the sheer purchase difference has meant, from an ESC manufacturer perspective, they have really wanted to be able to continue to sell BLheli32. Now, for those who don't know the full history and background, BLheli was open source. BLheli32 is closed source. Proprietary, comes shipped with locked bootloaders, based on 32-bit microcontrollers. They might be AT32s or STM32s, but BLheli32 was a fully closed source project. It is not open source. Its last version released was 32.10. I have seen multiple new products with this coming. It's interesting from what I can see. What isn't clear yet is this fully legitimate, or has someone completely reversed this to the stage of being able to basically ship new targets that fully work with the public configurator? That bit isn't clear yet. But what I can tell you is it does appear to be back. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. What you are going to see is products hit the market with BLheli32, fully compatible with the public configurator. Those products are going to cost a little bit more than the AM32 equivalent, because that is what's costing the manufacturer. There are some things I have to be careful what I say here, which I will say in more videos in the future. But my understanding is that manufacturers are not dealing with BLheli32 direct. They are getting components with BLheli32 pre-installed. And that is different to how it was before. Rather than the manufacturer flashing, it seems like microcontrollers are shipped with it pre-flashed and pre-licensed. So I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's in some ways a setback for the migration into AM32, because if this does completely become the norm again, whilst a lot of people were upset over the the BLheli32 situation, I think the reality is it will carry on very quickly like the way it did before. And I think it wouldn't take long for it to once again become the norm. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying this is the perfect outcome. I don't even know at this moment in time if this is fully legitimate, because this could be someone has finally fully reversed it and it's then being sold on from there. What I do know is the manufacturers that I can't talk about yet, but they believe what they're getting is fully legitimate because they're paying for it. But what now seems to be the case is you're seeing a slightly different scenario, that the ESC is not licensed by the manufacturer. They're buying the microcontrollers pre-flashed, ready to use. So this is slightly different to how it was before. So, yeah, it is interesting times. Now, alongside this, it was also interesting because BitDump has been... There's been a little tweak on GitHub recently. There was a bit of a tidy up on GitHub on BLheli32. I'm just trying to find the insights to show you. Let me just see if I can show you this. There was a slight tidy up, which is interesting. It wasn't an ad, it was a removal of stuff, but it was only 2 or 3 weeks ago now, which just tells you that it isn't quite as dead as it looked. There has been no official confirmation. There has been no official statements on this. There's been no big push to say, hey, it's back. This is all being done rather quietly as well. I'm just waiting for GitHub to catch up. Just catching... So if I just show you guys this, this is quite interesting. If you look, there was a single commit in April, June 2025 on the BLheli32 GitHub. There has been some tidying up later on, but there's a single one down here in 2025. And if I just go to commits, I don't know if it'll show us. It's rather interesting that BitDump is still around. He's even recently logged into his RC Groups account as well. So there was only one commit, but there has been a commit which is rather interesting on the week of June the 8th. And it was actually to delete a bunch of stuff. But he has also been roaming around RC Groups as well. When you actually have a look at his user account on RC Groups, he had logged in a little while ago, but on the 25th of May this year. So whilst this isn't any sort of great smoking gun, the person is not completely out of the game. The person hasn't totally vanished. There are tweaks being made on GitHub. They are still roaming around their accounts on the likes of RC Groups and others, which is quite interesting indeed. Now, as for what I actually think this is, I think this could be levels of abstraction. So the way it worked before with BLheli was you installed the licenses, you bought the licenses, and you paid a license per ESC. My understanding it was about, I think it was about $1.50 per ESC was my understanding. Or it was something like $3 to $4 for a 4-in-1 for the license. That's my understanding of what the pricing was. $3 or $4 for a 4-in-1, or about $1 to $1.50 on a single ESC. I suspect, to try and get around the issues that my understanding was that they were facing, which was to do with use of drone technology and exporting, I wonder if they've now licensed it to a single party who then flash the microcontrollers under that understanding that that single party must not use them for anything related to war or anything like that. And then that single party is responsible for distributing microcontrollers with BLheli32 pre-installed. And I guess that there's some tweaking allowed by that party, rather than BLheli directly dealing with all of the ESC manufacturers. Perhaps they're not selling BLheli. Perhaps he's just selling microcontrollers now. And if the microcontrollers happen to come with software on board, such as BLheli32, then so be it. Perhaps the simple answer is they're shipping microcontrollers, not software. Perhaps that's a way around the problem. Truth is, I don't know. So, what to expect? You're going to see some ESCs come in with BLheli32 on board. These are not like the ones that you've seen in the past, which were running on test activator versions 32.9. I think it's interesting. I don't know if it's a good thing. My opinion on this is very, very mixed. But the truth is, you're about to see ESCs hit the market with, again, what appear to be at least fully legitimate versions of BLheli32, 32.10, which will make people who want 32.10 happy. Any hope I can update my 32 firmware? The servers are still down. As far as I can tell, and I did check this week, the servers are still down. There's no way to update an older ESC that I can see. Eduardo, how are you? Any news from Radio Master or Caddx? So, with regards to Caddx, I have no news at all. Honestly, I have no idea what is going on with Caddx. Honestly. It's like zero info. What is completely bizarre about the Caddx situation, I don't know if I want to say this. It's almost like I actually made an impact. And I know this sounds terrible, and I'm saying this because it makes me sound like I'm some big bloody thing. It almost sounds like and feels like the ripping I gave them has actually had an impact. Because remember, for those who don't know, the video isn't live now for even potentially legal reasons, because they did threaten me with legal action. But they have not released anything since. Bearing in mind, they were talking about GT2, Moonlight 2, and this new system called Ascent or Ascend, I think it was. And none of it has come. And it's almost like they've actually listened and stopped and gone, wait a minute, let's hold it back until it's ready. And you know what? I'm going to say this. I really hope they did, because nothing I ever said was because I don't like Caddx. Nothing I ever said in that video was because I want them to fail. It's completely the opposite. We need Caddx to be successful to push DJI. We need Caddx in FPV. There is no world where I don't want Caddx to be involved in FPV. But they also have to learn and change and do things better. And I sincerely hope they have. And if my burning my relationship with them is all it took to do it, then so be it, because that's great. At least they've listened. Because if you remember, they were put out those 5 posts on this new system, which were an absolute mess. They then said, oh, but by the way, we've got these products coming as well, which is, you know, very Caddx typical. Here's the bad news, but hey, we got something new for you. So look, I sincerely hope they've listened. But the truth is, I know nothing. It is unlikely I will ever be contacted by Caddx again to be involved in a product launch. You know, trust me, if I shared the emails, you would see why. And one day I probably will, because I have nothing to hide. Just remember that, Caddx. I'm not the one that will come out bad. Trust me. But I said something in the email. And in some ways, I wish I could just show it. And I could, but it's better I don't. And I'm trying to remember the exact words I used. And the words were, nothing I've ever said was designed to harm Caddx. It was along the lines of that. I really hope, I'm more than happy to help and support and provide guidance. But before that can be done, there has to be an acceptance that there is an issue in the first place. And that was always the problem. And that was where we ended it. And you can't fix a problem if you're not willing to accept that there is a problem. And that was where we were at with Caddx. So let's hope they did some internal soul searching. How quiet they are is strange. They are doing loads of advertising, especially around ground-based vehicles. For anyone who's seen them on Instagram and stuff, they're doing loads of advertising on ground-based stuff. Loads of ads on ground-based. So they're still promoting. But yeah, there's just nothing at the moment. You know, a Moonlight 2 would be a great idea. A GT2 is needed because it's a bit of a pain in the ass of a VTX. It's a bit quirky. You know, the fact it doesn't work with the gimbal is a joke. It can, but you have to rip it apart. That's just a joke. The ideal VTX for a ground-based vehicle, yet you can't easily use it with a ground-based vehicle because they didn't put the UART on it. And it's like, come on. It's even got the fan on it. Any DJI US news? Basically none. None at all. There's from a DJI perspective, some 04A units came into stock for about 3.5 minutes in the US, it seems, this week, and went again. It looks like DJI are gearing up for the launch of the Mini 5, a new Action 5. They've dropped pricing on a bunch of their cameras. The Action 5 has had a price reduction, which is very interesting. If we have a look on the DJI website, they've actually got a lot of sales on at the moment. Hello, Windsor FPV. They actually have a lot of sales on at the moment. But if we go on the handheld, DJI have they've dropped the price of the Action 5 Pro. It's on special offer, 24% off the Action 5 Pro. In the UK, you can't see it because I'm in the way. That is down to $249. That's an incredible price. That is astonishingly good. I am so tempted to order one of these. It's crazy. Is it even available in the US? Let's have a look. Amazon in the US, $349. Yeah, it's not great in the US still. What is crazy is, apparently, I haven't seen this yet, Osmo Action 4, the pricing of the Action 4 has been insanely cheap. Action 4, $175. $175 in the UK. That is an insane deal compared to a GoPro. Yeah, I hope the new leaked DJI Action Mini will be great for FPV. 100%. Does sound good if it's true. But that pricing, $175. In many ways, the Action 4 is better than the Action 5. DJI have a bit of a problem with the Action 5. It's now been fixed. But the issue is, if we go to the DJI Action 5, DJI released the Action 5 Pro and it had a number of issues. Lower bitrate and overall compression and image quality looked worse than the Action 4. And that was being driven by the fact that they had changed the chipset. For those who don't know, the DJI Action 5 has a new chipset over the Action 4. They actually moved to an external chipset rather than their in-house one. They moved to a chipset by Qualcomm, I think it was, off the top of my head. Same lens, same sensor. They said next-gen sensor, but it's basically the same. But it had a new image processor, right? And that new image processor actually had lower bitrate. When you looked at the specification and actual image quality, when you got into it, the actual bitrate was limited to 120 megabits a second, compared to the Action 4, which did 150 megabits a second. However, over its life, DJI did release some new firmware updates. And if you go into the firmware updates, even released this year, if we go back a little bit, let's go back to the originals, you'll see they've done so many updates on this camera. So, in September, they added optimized power consumption, optimized image quality, because there were people who were saying the image quality wasn't as good. Fixed minor bugs. Oh, you can't be DJI without fixed some minor bugs. But they also offered an increased bitrate option. I'm just trying to see where it is shown. Support for adjusting bitrate settings. High bitrate option is available. So they added a high bitrate option in end of last year, after all the criticism. So DJI have actually done loads of stuff on the Action 5 Pro. Improved image quality and clarity in super night mode. Added support for 4K output via DisplayPort, pass through USB-C. Loads of cool stuff. But the issue is, and this was the big problem with the Action 5, it was already out. All the reviews had already been released. All of the reviews said, actually, I wouldn't upgrade to it from the Action 4. DJI basically was stuck with a camera that they've made loads of really good improvements on. But the problem was, all of the marketing and review material said, hey, it's a... And that is the problem they've had. It's been a dead product as a result of it. It's probably sold okay, but the truth is DJI haven't been able to get over that hump of that initial bad day one press. And that's the exact same problem DJI had with the Mavic 3. They had the same problem with the Mavic 3. They released it with loads of issues and it never got over the hump of those issues. So it does look like there's an Action 6 coming. There does seem to be this Action Mini as well as an Action 360. There's some really interesting stuff around this. If the Action Mini happens, I think a lot of people are going to be very happy. At that price, it is a no-brainer over a GoPro. That's for sure. I would not be touching a GoPro at that money. GoPro UK. Let's have a laugh. So they've got the huge big save on the 13. Ah, look at that. They've dropped it to $299. Oh, and you can get it in forest green. Free 1-year premium subscription. Yeah. So GoPro have dropped, but the DJI is still 50 quid cheaper. So, yeah, look, there's some sales, but there really is no news. Yeah, GoPro offer that subscription, which gives you the free repair protection and stuff. But and cloud storage, but they want you to keep it. That's how GoPro are making their money these days. If you go of GoPro Premium, if you actually have a look at what GoPro Premium is, Premium gives you protect, backup, auto edit, and save. Auto upload to the cloud from your GoPro, unlimited cloud storage, 25 gigabyte of cloud storage for non-GoPro footage, automatic highlight videos, guaranteed camera replacement. This is the one. You can have a reduced cost replacement. So if you destroy your GoPro, you get it replaced at a lower cost. But wait a minute, what's the pricing? Let's have a look at what the replacement cost is. So these are the countries. Pro Premium replacement cost. No, come on, give me the terms. I don't want to transfer. I want to know what the camera. Here we go. So for a Hero 13 Black, it's $99. So they will give you a replacement for $99. Okay, so to catch up on the chat, because it's been a while, I'm going to go backwards. Is the T7000 any good for PCB use? I do not know what the T7000 is. What's the T7000? Any hints what it is? Oh, contact adhesive. PCB use. Don't know. Oh. 73 FPV. Latest. DJI fixed a load of problems in the latest firmware. Just be careful with Crystal Sky. Update the Inspire 2 and Syndense, but don't update Crystal Sky. I would actually update the remote with a separate smart device via the USB port, not the Syndense. I would try and leave the Syndense on whatever firmware it's on, because DJI removed the mapping in later firmware versions and you might lose functionality. But I would update the Inspire 2 to the latest firmware as a... In the UK, have we got a Best Buy insurance alternative? Basically, GoPro is the only one I would... Curry's do one. I haven't tried it for the cameras. I would be looking at... Or I would buy an Action 4 at that price if I knew I could get replacement for cheap. You're better getting DJI Care Refresh for that. DJI sell Care Refresh themselves. So you can go on to DJI, $175 for the camera, add it to the basket, Care Refresh for 2 years, 33 quid. Direct from DJI, and Care Refresh replacement fees for a Action 4 is Action 5 Pro is, that's Australian. Let's get down to UK pricing. Hong Kong. Here we go. Action 5 Pro is 18 quid. Action 4 Pro is 19 quid. I would get the DJI Care Refresh. But there isn't a Best Buy in the UK. I have not flown in this weather. No, I haven't. I'll be honest, I haven't had time. I'm at the moment. I'll talk about that in a minute. I haven't flown in this heat. Just scrolling back up. Just looking at Amazon, a Mavic 4 Pro Fly More combo is available. However, it doesn't come with the new controller. Delivered July the 15th for $5,499. Yeah. Can confirm, got a Mavic 3 on release and the thing couldn't even return to home properly. It would miss by 10 meters. Absolute joke. Yeah, look, DJI had a few products they really screwed the release up on. And it was the Mavic 3, it was the Action 5, and a few others. And some of the best reviews on the Action 5 tell you it's basically not very good. And that's the problem DJI currently have. I can barely move around my house. Yes, it's hot. I've just turned off my aircon. Just flew an 04 Pro Freestyle today and the UFL snapped off after a light crash. Send it back to DJI. Is the Radiomaster GX12 any good? Yes, it's a very good radio. It depends what you're looking for from a radio. It depends if you're starting out. The GX12 is absolutely a very good radio. It's getting hard to say, like, for me, I still prefer the Boxer. The Boxer's just the perfect... I literally designed the Boxer in my head. And it sort of came to life through Radiomaster. Got my 04 Pro coming in Tuesday, finally going HD. Very nice. Just catching back up. Which FPV system would you buy into for freestyle bashing? Is analog still relevant? Look, analog is analog. Analog hasn't changed. It remains to be the cheapest entry, most wide compatibility, but it really comes down to what you want. You know, are you happy with flying with an image that can do what analog does? That's really what it comes down to. Just catching up on the chat. Sunhin, I have no interest in discussing the fucking mess of US politics. Sounds to me like someone simply copied the chip one-to-one. No, because these are brand new targets. These are brand new targets. If you're copying the chip one-to-one, they will be the target of the chip that you have copied. These are brand new targets. If someone had done that, I would have said that. Are DJI goggles 2 fixed with 04 now? Yes, they are. However, this is actually a good point to make, because there's some people who have been posting some stuff saying, but it's still broke. Version 32.10, yes. It is not back online, no. So, there is... So, just reading the chat. There is some confusion around DJI 04. Then what's back? It's back because there are brand new ESCs coming with brand new targets with BLheli32 32.10 installed that are using the non-test activator, fully legitimate versions. New targets, new ESCs. That means it's back. You have not been able to buy new ESCs with BLheli32 on board up until now. So, right, I need to talk about this DJI thing. There are people who are getting a bit confused with what ESCs, I can't tell you yet. There are people who are getting a bit confused with DJI 04, and specifically it is people using it in manual mode. And what I mean by this is this. people are putting DJI-04 in manual mode, putting it up to maximum power, 1200 milliwatts, and then complaining that they're not getting maximum bit rate, which is 60 megabits a second. Now, it is worth noting that nowhere has it ever been said that 04 will give you 60 megabits a second at 1200 milliwatts. To try and get maximum bandwidth at maximum RF power is close to impossible. 03 didn't really do that either. The only reason you didn't see it is because you didn't have manual channel selection properly. You cannot expect maximum RF power and maximum bandwidth at the same time. There are payoffs. If you're pushing the VTX into maximum RF power, you're pushing the PAs into a position that they may not be able to sustain that, and as a result, they may have to drop the bit rate. This is perfectly normal. Not unexpected. Not a fault. Maximum power doesn't mean you can have maximum bit rate. There are payoffs as a result of driving the amps so hard. Now, for some people, it's fine, but on some, when they start to get hot, they actually clock the bit rate down a bit. That's fine. That's normal. Don't worry about it. I ain't talking about auto mode. I'm talking about maximum power manually. There are scenarios where that may be an issue. So, look, it's just worth noting because people were complaining about it. Does that mean it's been cracked? We don't know. My understanding is everyone... So, AVI, my understanding is it's all fully legitimate. The information I have is that it's all fully legitimate. But no one knows 100% for sure. My understanding is it's legitimate. We don't know if it's hacked, cracked. We don't know if someone's fully reversed the firmware. What I can tell you is the people involved that I've spoke about believe it's fully legitimate. They're being told it's fully legitimate. With regards to Radio Master, the only thing I can say is about what they've discussed publicly. The rest of the issues of Goggles 2 are gone. Yes. In the past, you discussed the Edge T3 VTX system. Have you had the opportunity to fly the Zumo Vision 2? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I haven't tried one of their aircraft. I do know that they've released this OMP Vision 2. I haven't tried it. So if I just go to there... They're shipping it with a video headset. Yeah, they're issuing it with a video headset, aren't they? So there's the quad, there's the craft. Look, the T3 system looks lovely. There's no question about it. Say there's still a lot of nonsense in here. Are they showing the glasses? No, they're not. I'm trying to find the glasses. So what glasses have they said are included? Here's something interesting. The delivery of Zummer products involving video transmission will be postponed. Something's going on with this T3 system because you can't even buy it either. You can't even buy it. What glasses are they? Are they even telling you what the glasses are? Is there a video of the FPV glasses? Is there? If someone said there's a video of this? A3AR. I'm not convinced they will sell at all. A3AR glasses? Okay. So, are these the new Ray Neo glasses? Yeah, they look like A3. So they must be Ray Neo. These might be the company that reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested in taking a look at them, and I didn't reply. Just searching my emails. A2, A2. So are we talking these here? The Ray Neo A3. Ray Neo A3S. They don't look that expensive, do they? So how do they... Plus Joy Dock. Joy Dock. Oh. Does the Joy Dock come preloaded by any chance? The Joy Dock. We all like a Joy Dock. I'm trying to read my emails. I can't... So, what we got at the top? Videos. So, let's have a look, shall we? They're not FPV specific, no. So how is he connecting that to the PlayStation? So if we want a set of these, which set do we need? Do we need the Joy Dock? Comparison. Right, so here we go. Reality Gateway, Immersive Gateway. Mega display by connecting directly to your phone or tablet or game console that have USB-C over DisplayPort. So that would work with the T3 system directly. So that will, because that supports DisplayPort. Okay? So that would work with that. Must have for Nintendo Switch 1-2 gamers. Expand the 18-inch screen to this. So the Joy, what? Tech. Which, I want to know which one has HDMI in. Right. What? But wait a minute. Connectivity, right. No, I want HDMI. How do I connect to HDMI? Okay. Yeah. An adapter, I'm guessing. Yes, connect the included USB cable. Right, so, next thing. What's the resolution? Where's the specs? I'm clicking tech. I want the actual specs. I want the bullshit. I want the actual spec. I want the display spec. What is the resolution of the display? 1080p? How to switch to refresh rate? 60 to 100. Okay. This is... No, so there's no specs there. Tell you what, they don't make this easy, do they? So, only selling countries. So, Quantum Leap Rainier A3S features micro LED displays with what fucking resolution? It does look like a scam product. I agree. All right, let's have a look. Right. June the 12th, 2025. Bugger off. So, bottom line, refreshingly affordable A3 is a smart glasses. Right, let's have a look. 40. So, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. 46-degree field of view. That's pretty good. 1080p. That's pretty good. I'm going to order these in. I'm going to do it. I am going to order these in and we're going to make a video on these for FPV. When I work out on their shit website, I don't know if they were offered. I gotta dig through my emails. Someone offered me a set of VR glasses, and I can't remember who. Let me just log into my iCloud email. I cannot remember who. I felt it was like... Let me just get logged in. Cannot access my device. Text a code. I still use iCloud for my email, even though I don't use Apple anymore. I'm still heavily tied into iCloud. Yeah, Apple are so fucking stupid that I log into this email on this computer all of the time, and every time it says, do you want to trust this? Let me see if I can find the email. I'm going to search for Ray Neo first of all, because it might not have been them. No, might not have been them. No, I can't see it. So, A3S Pro. So, if we have a look, I still don't know what fucking version we need. I still do not know what version we need. Because what's this shit thing do? Type-C to glasses and charging adapter. What the fuck's this? This website is horrific. Yeah, I agree. It does sound like it's the normal USB-C. USB-C over DisplayPort output. So that just comes with some streaming box. What's this one? So what input is on this? This box? Must have for streaming gaming whilst charging. Nail the battery anxiety for unstoppable entertainment. So that's like a charging adapter. They were talking... Yeah, it could be Nintendo proprietary bullshit. Ah, here we go. This looks more like it, look. Ray Neo AR glasses. Eh? What fucking adapter is that? Does that plug in? What? What is that? Accessories. Right, can we... Right, what the... Right, here we go. Here we go. Right, so that goes... So that charges whilst playing. And it's got a HDMI plug and an Apple Lightning plug. What the actual hell? But what? Why is that sticking out? That is the weirdest adapter I think I've ever seen. It must be spring. What on earth is that? Their product pages. Right, so experience 4K universal HDMI and Lightning port compatibility. Effortlessly connect to any HDMI enabled device, including Xbox, iPhone 14, so. That is the weirdest fucking thing I've seen. Oh yeah, look, the adapter looks like it clips at that fucking just. Should we have a look at the Joy Dock? The Joy Dock. Just to make sure your Nintendo is as lightweight as possible. Yeah, that's as someone said, some Nintendo bullshit. Look at the size of that thing. And then this is the charge and data. So that's just a charge and data. Okay. So actually, for the most compatibility, I would want that. The truth is, for the most compatibility, you would probably want... So if I go to the buy now, you'd want that kit, is what you'd want. Yet they're only shipping in... What countries did they say they're shipping to? Only selling countries, US, CA, and Japan. So, look. And even look at this. Coming soon. This website stinks of scam. This website absolutely stinks of scam. Well, there is a... So what's the final conclusion? What do they say? Okay. So can we get them anywhere else then? Are they going to be available? Currently unavailable on Amazon. Okay. Soon. It's got real stinky vibes about it, these two. They have real stinky vibes. Interesting, all the reviews are May and June, so why the hell aren't they out yet? Here's the quirkiness. All these reviews, June, April, and they're still Point is, they were included with the VTOL. Yeah, but I'm not sure they are, because you can't get it at the moment. Should have gone to Specsavers. Yes. So, I haven't received my Flywoo wide-angle lenses yet, unfortunately. I'm still waiting for them. Yeah, it's written in part of the website for the VTOL. Yes, but they're not shipping the video version yet. So again, it's vaporware. Because you can't actually buy the T3 system today either. If they are selling disposable wave vapes. Any news on the Avata 3? No. No, I haven't had my Flywoo lens kit yet. They said they were sending it, but I haven't received anything. Some of the guys on my Discord have got it. Or the Neo 2. Yeah, look, the leaks are still that there's a Mini 5, Neo 2, Avata 3, Action 5, Action Mini, Action 360, no Potato 2. Are Runcam Link DJI cameras and VTXs still being sold new? I don't know. Have Runcam still got them on their website? I haven't looked for a little bit. Store. If we go to here. Digital FPV system. Runcam Link. It looks like the cameras are available. But it doesn't look... It looks like they've got the air units still at the moment. I wouldn't expect these to last long. That's not there because there's no buy now button. I wouldn't expect these to last long. Yeah, look, I think it's pretty much at the end. I suspect the stock, what's left, is what was manufactured by DJI quite a long time ago. I don't think it'll still be in production. Drone U was raving about some new American-made single prop drone called the Helios sub 250. Let's have a look. Helios drone. It'll be some militaristic bullshit, probably. Let's have a look. Or some way of getting some new bloody money. Here we go. Let's have a look. I could say a lot. That's a helicopter. Yes, I agree. Number one, it's a helicopter. Should we wonder how much VC money they've got? Helios, a nano UFV engineered by Anson Aerosystems for applications including tactical and field operations, featuring coaxial propulsion system, aircraft grade construction. Well, wait a minute, it is an aircraft. So what's aircraft grade construction? It is literally an aircraft. So that's absolute bullshit right there, right? It can be hand-launched in under 30 seconds, delivering immediate situational awareness to ground teams. Bugger off. Should we have a look? Have they done the VC funding round? Look, they ain't selling this to us. Sunlin is just... My car is made of automobile grade metal. Exactly! About them. Do I really want to search? Do I suspect they've had a funding round? Well, I can tell you something. That's a DJI camera, right? That's a DJI camera. And I just saw an X3. I think I saw as well. Right there. Not sure what that is. Have they had a funding round? Come on, let's see. I'm just trying to see if they've been asking for money. God. See, this is just bullshit. Can the new Ascent Heroes drone actually compete with DJI? For what? What? It's a fucking non-existent drone that's going to compete with DJI. For what purpose? For what is that going to compete with DJI for? On a fucking... just... what? DJI is... do you know, just look at this a minute, right? I'm going to rant now before I finish this one up. We're going to look at DJI just for one thing a minute. Just one fucking thing. Right. Mavics. There are 2 versions of Mavics being sold today. Air drones. There are 2 drones of Airs. Mini drones. 3 drones. So that's 4, 7. 8 with the Flip. 9 with the Neo. 10 with the Avata. 11 with the Inspire 3. In their consumer space alone, DJI have 11 consumer drones of completely different models, catering from the lowest end up to this. Then you enter the real toys. None of the other stuff, the real stuff. The Matrice 400, 350, Matrice 4D, 4 Series, Mavic 3 Enterprise, Matrice 30 and Flycart. It's not even a race. It's not even fucking funny when you look at this thing and what this thing can do. It's like, people say things like, people say, but can they compete with DJI? No one can compete with DJI. These are on a level beyond anything. It just makes me chuckle. You can carry a 6 kilo freaking payload under this thing. And this is the big boy, the biggie, you know, the one that shocks me. This is the Matrice 30. This thing is just fucking nuts. This drone is the I'm gonna blow you all away drone. This thing is just insane. When you look at it in the package, that this thing is, it is insane. When you look at what a machine. What a machine. When you actually look at it, it's just, you know, this is the stuff of freaking space age. And they go, when's the American drone industry going to catch up? 25 years. Yeah, the new Agra. Yeah, the new Agra stuff. Yeah, they're just, it's not even sport. It just, can they keep up? We're going to make a flying dildo. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a flying dildo. And can it compete with DJI? It's like, okay, yes. How long before that ends up in a video going horizontally into a into a box, let's just say. Coming to OnlyFans near you. Joy Talk. And I think that ends the stream. Yeah, I think that ends the stream. It literally is. It literally is. Right, guys, it was a late night. We didn't even get down to doing that. We're going to call it there. Look after yourselves, stay safe, and I will speak to you soon. Final thought, don't forget to check out my Patreon, as well as buy me a coffee. Thank you. Bye-bye.